skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.
What is up, my gaggly geeks, and welcome to a new episode of See It or Skip It, where we're going to be talking about The Devil Wears Prada 2. That's right, Anne Hathaway's a vampire. She's not aging at all. And we've got the swapped new Netflix animation, Animal Farm, another animation, and interviews with Adam Scott for the film Hokum and the director, and Cedric the Entertainer talking about Swapped. We've got so much to talk about today, and I am so excited to be joined by Rebecca Frost and Rachel from Rachel's Reviews.
Two girls.
Oh my goodness. I didn't realize. we gotta redo all this. What's
There's
going on?
something in common. It's amazing.
Goyles. Okay, let's jump into the first one, which is Devil Wears Prada 2.
So sad I missed this one.
Yes, but you've seen the first one.
Yeah, love it. Classic.
So we got to talk about expectations, whether they delivered on them, right?
Yeah.
So we saw this on Monday, I believe. Anne Hathaway's back, and now she is basically being head of the writing editorial side of this. What's the company called?
The magazine's called Runway.
Runway. See, this is great. And she has to work with Meryl Streep again, who does not remember her at the beginning.
Miranda Priestley.
Yep, Miranda Priestley. And it's
Yeah.
all, first, it's paying homage to the original, and it's paying off a lot of things, but also it had way more subtext and dialogue talking about the death of print magazine and journalism than I thought that they were ever going to do.
The sad part is that I think it's actually fairly unrealistic in its depiction of, it's way worse. They're trying to show things are really hard for journalists. It's worse.
Yeah.
It's
Well, they
way
still have to
worse.
glamorize it a little, Devil Wears Prada
because
style.
almost
but-
everybody I know that's a journalist is freelancing and pitching articles. There's so few people that are even part-time.
Yeah,
these
having
days.
an in-house
So
editorialist is not really heard of.
It's even worse than depicted in the movie. But I do think expectations are a big factor in your enjoyment of this film, because I'm seeing a lot of people say, oh, it's not as good as the original film, but that wasn't even in the ballpark when I sat down to watch it. I was not thinking this was going to be as good. I was just hoping that it would be okay, that it would be decent,
Yeah, don't ruin what you've already built.
Yeah,
I'm just
so
happy
many
to
of
see
these
my fashion friends again.
Well, and so many of these long-awaited, particularly comedy sequels, are terrible.
Yep.
So I guess I've learned to kind of approach cautiously. I mean, I wouldn't say this is an amazing film. I would say it's like a base hit. It's nice to see these characters again. It was pleasant. I wasn't bored. I enjoyed it well enough. But is it amazing? No, it's not amazing. But
you're judging it off of already a curve of horrible sequels that happen decades after the fact. This,
which
I feel does great with that, because we got Anne Hathaway returning, doing great with her role. We got Stanley Tucci. His character is one of my favorite characters in the first one.
I am actually
and they
shocked he's
give
still
him
there.
pay. That's a part of it. They're bringing that in.
They have winks to the original film throughout. Some of them more subtle, some of them bigger. But nothing for instance, if you think about Happy Gilmore 2 last year, where it's it was just a continual
that was cameo
streak.
But that was...
And it continual. Remember this from the first movie? Remember this? That's not this movie. It has some of that. But we actually get a story for our characters and some amusing scenes, and it's a nice way to spend 2 hours. But did it blow me away? No, but I wasn't expecting it to.
When I do see it, I'm not really going for the story. I'm going for the fashion. How's the fashion? Is it good?
Fashion.
Fashion?
Yeah, look at fashion. I know about fashion. I unbuttoned one and I went, uh-oh.
Our press group, it's mostly dudes, and so
yes, it's true.
I was
I'll just say this:
just
me
a
and
bunch of
Brooks
dudes.
had the time of our lives.
Sure,
sitting
that's
and watching that
hilarious.
together. We were laughing through the whole thing. I saw the first film over the weekend, so I really didn't have any idea of what I was getting myself into until Friday. And for these types of films that immediately become dated, especially with some of the jokes that end up falling far away. There was one part in this. It does well for the most part. There's a stereotypical character in this, an Asian stereotype that I really was I don't know if you're doing this right. The
I've heard
Asian assistant.
I've heard that's received some backlash.
Well, she's there's a lot of stuff in there where it's yes, we've seen that before.
About the dude.
but
You know,
no.
the Simone Ashley's character?
Bridgerton?
Girl lady?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So yeah, some of those things I'm like, I don't know if that's really going to fly too well, but I have an Asian wife, so that stuff kind of shows up with just me.
I think they were trying to show that the Emily's is still a thing, basically, at Runway, with those two assistants. But yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think that Justin Theroux's character, a little of him goes a long way.
Oh, Justin Theroux's character is tough.
He's a lot.
That's an excellent description of Justin Theroux.
He's meant to be tough in this. Like, he's meant to be annoying, but it like to the point where I was like, it's now too much and it's grating.
Yeah.
He's like the Succession character that he gets married to Emily Blunt's character. And so now she's basically like with the rich guy, and that's how she's able to get the stuff that she wants.
And she's the head of Dior. And so like the idea that, she went retail instead of being in journalism,
but
basically.
also like go where the careers aren't dying.
Is she a sellout? No.
Well, and thank goodness she left too. That's the other big thing. Like, Stanley Tucci's character did not leave.
Yeah.
They addressed that. With Emily Blunt's character, I was like, why didn't you leave way earlier? And that was like my big sticking point. But I like how they described it. But where her character ended up going didn't feel super believable, because I was like, why? Without spoiling too much. I don't want to spoil too much of it.
But I would say, just to go back to the costumes and the fashion. So I should have remembered her name, but so Patricia Fields, who did the costume design for Sex and the City, did the costume design for the original. And then the lady, I think her name's Cynthia something, I can't think of it, sorry. But the lady who did In Just Like That, which was a train wreck of a show, but it still had pretty good fashion. Anyway, she did the fashion for this. So it's like the Patricia Fields heir apparent,
Nice.
So the fashion is quite good and fun. And Element and Lady Gaga makes an appearance, which is fun. And she's throughout the soundtrack, which is fun.
Yeah, they cut to just a full Lady Gaga music video at one point, and they're just like, let it play.
Cool. Yes, my catnip. I love it.
Overall, I would say this is a see it, especially if you loved the original. Go out with your girlfriends or with your boyfriends. I went with Brooks.
I was
it was
like,
fun.
yeah, you guys were with a group of dudes.
Yeah, and I still was chuckling through the whole thing. There are some really good jokes, some that were still. There's a lot of jokes about what was her name? The Meryl Streep's character.
Miranda Priestley.
I was gonna say Miranda Tate, but that's Dark Knight Rises. Miranda Priestley. There's a lot of like, what you say is you're going to get canceled. So stop saying these jokes or saying these things. Quit dissing these people. You can't say that anymore. It was very good.
If I was giving this a grade, I'd give it like a B minus. Like, it's a base hit. It's enjoyable.
We don't do grades here.
Not amazing, but it was fun.
It's a see it?
See it.
Yeah,
yes,
there we go.
It's a see it.
All right. Well, make sure that you guys check that out. Up next, we've got Hokum with Adam Scott. This is a very small story of a witch that is basically taken over this hotel room, the honeymoon suite. It's all about folklore, Irish folklore in this case. He plays an author that's kind of an alcoholic, just a very unlikable person.
Pork found in kitchen.
Yeah, he will find any way to drag you if you're sitting near him. Like, what's your style? He's almost like Meryl Streep in the way that he talks to people. But something happens to where he is embarrassed, has to come back to the hotel after doing something that was very horrifying, trying to unalive himself, essentially. When he comes back after that failed, he finds out that the person that found him has now gone missing. And so he is trying to investigate the hotel staff and people to see where she's gone, because none of them are going in the honeymoon suite, because that is locked down, because they know it's haunted. It's a very interesting film. It's probably the best horror film I've seen this year.
So
I've heard good things.
How big is the cast? Because this
Pretty
filmmaker's
small.
Previous film, Oddity, very small cast.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love Oddity, but a lot of people are really singing the praises for Hokum.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, would you say the rumors are true?
Yeah, it was really fun for me. And this is the type of horror film that I like, where they're not trying to hide the monster or whatever the creepy visual is. You see that pretty much immediately.
Is it gory?
Somewhat, but I think they play much more onto like kind of the Insidious, Conjuring
Like
type
the
of vibe.
psychological type.
Psychological, or like
Paranormal.
suddenly there's like this dungeon underneath the hotel where the witch is living, and you got to get to a spot at a certain point or she's going to come and get you. And
Video game.
it's really creepy.
I tried really hard to get, but I couldn't get a screener for it. I tried.
It's because it's haunted, and
Yeah, I guess so.
they're,
Got it
Yeah.
locked down.
they're like, we know how Rachel feels about horror movies. We're not giving her this. There's a commercial in it that reminds me. Did you ever watch Mandy?
Yes.
You know the weird cheese,
The goblin.
the mac
Yeah,
and
I
cheese.
used to have the box.
They do something
yeah.
like that, like a very creepy, disturbing pig face people,
Oh.
and it freaked me out. Like I had bad dreams that night. Yeah, it was rough. And I got to talk to Adam Scott and the director about those nightmares and why maybe hotels are the perfect delivery system for horror. Take a look. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Patrick?
I'm doing great. I didn't get a lot of sleep after watching this, and
Oh, no.
I have to thank you for that. This movie in particular really got to me, and I was trying to think of what could this have possibly been. I think it's because I'm afraid of hotels. And so
Really?
my question to you, Damien and Adam, because I'm sure you guys are going in and out of hotels all the time. What do you think about that as the platform or the playground to use a horror film? Why does that work so well?
Well, I guess the way I approached this was that, it's the amount of people that are moving in and out of hotels and what's happened there and how many people die in hotels. It's from a script writing point of view in terms of this, it was like, well, the hotel is such an interesting place for a horror movie because the cast the cast of characters at least fills themselves in. It fills itself in. Like you get the caretaker, the owner, the manager, the people that work there, the bellboy. And then straight away, the guest is going to be the outsider. He's already isolated because they all know each other. So so there's something interesting about that, and just again through a horror lens.
Yeah, I don't know. I love hotels. There was a survey done, and they found that there have been deaths in 90% of all hotel rooms in the United States. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I made that up.
I'm not leaving that part in. We're gonna make that true.
That would be a crazy statistic.
Yes.
If that was true.
Well, Adam, let me ask you this. We're playing with folklore in this. There's often not really any clear rules. Like the folklore, it just is, right? As an actor, is it more freeing for you, or is it more unsettling when you don't fully understand what your character is up against?
I guess it's freeing. In a way. But, usually you do understand when you're making something, you've sort of considered everything and you sort of understand what it is. But I think maybe it's more daunting because you don't quite understand what it is. I mean, certainly in this situation, I don't think my character has the foggiest idea of what it is he's up against at the end of the day.
Well, and your character, he's not really a very likable person, especially at the beginning. Like you find yourself just going, why is he so mean to everybody?
Yeah.
But as an actor with strong comedic instincts and it has played somebody that's so likable, for me, it's Ben Wyatt, like one of my favorite characters. Is it more fun to play the unlikable character and leaning into somebody more broken?
I think it's they kind of balance each other out. I wouldn't want to do one or the other 100% of the time, but it is fun and a particular challenge to play someone like this in the movie who, when we start, is an unpleasant person, and then over the course of the movie, you get to sort of investigate and find out why he is this way, and whether or not he's going to be able to redeem himself.
Which hallway would you rather be stuck in, a Severance hallway or a Hokum hallway in a hotel?
Oh man, that's a really good question. Maybe the Hokum hallway, because you're guaranteed a way out eventually. Or at least you know where the way out is if you need to get there.
I absolutely loved this. I can't wait to get people to watch this next week. I'm going to be watching it again just to kind of see the little tidbits and Easter eggs. Thank you both so much, Damien and Adam. You're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Make sure that you guys check out Hokum, out in theaters right now. And there's one more animated film that is out, and that is Animal Farm. Now, you two had the chance to see this, so I'm going to take it to you.
Yes.
Yeah, Animal Farm, adapted from George Orwell's, my opinion, comedy dystopia novel. But, Andy Serkis, this is his vehicle. He's been trying to get this movie made for, like you said, 13 years.
I actually got the chance to talk to Andy Serkis. I don't have the audio of the interview, but you can read the written version over at Rotoscopers. And he'd been trying for 13 years to get this movie made. He really wanted to make a political allegory for kids. That was his goal. And so some people will be upset that this sort of kidifies the story, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine.
I didn't hate it. It does definitely feel like the product of compromise and capitalism. And it's just like, this is the type of movie that you're going to get this is the Animal Farm movie you're going to get with interference.
But I think it could be the start of a lot of interesting conversations between families.
For sure.
About like, what did you think about Napoleon's decision? How he kept compromising the original ideals of the farm.
This seems like a big sell, though.
They put up the rules.
You would think.
If you're going to talk about that.
The rules of the farm, and that's in the book. And then they slowly compromise, and then you have characters like Boxer, who really still believes to the end in the cause, and you have the others that are more cynical, and so.
I personally think this movie is going to incite a lot of conversations, but not in a good way. I think a lot of people are going to walk away from this movie not really understanding what they've seen or understanding nuance. I feel like I should be able to stand in front of every theater with a pamphlet about Marxism and explain Marxism to everybody who's walking into the theater.
Well, I already do that.
Because the book was a allegory against communism and Marxism, and this definitely is more about fascism. At least that's how I read it.
Yeah.
An animated film, though, like an animated kids film.
Which there has been animated Animal Farm in the past. I think it was the 70s. There was one that's definitely more true to the book. And that was right around when there was a lot of edgy animation being made, like Watership Down, things like that. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a very interesting odd entry for the year.
The world that they build in the movie, it semi-futuristic, and I wish they would have leaned into more of the world building.
Okay.
Or focus more on the farm itself.
I just think the attempts to try to add humor,
it's more the message that they care about.
Those didn't really
work.
Seth
Rogen has a line where he's like, "We're free now. We can do whatever we want." For example, I'm gonna fart now.
Yeah.
And then they want to be like, "But let's seriously sit down and talk about that."
And I think that was the attempt to try to make it more palatable to kids when they really probably didn't need to go there. But I mean, if you had, I don't know if See It or Skip It, you have a middle, do you have a rent it?
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
A wait for it. I would give this a wait for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
middle.
I didn't hate it. I am absolutely fascinated by everything that has gone into the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just because I'm interested in socialism and learning about that stuff.
Well,
anyway.
I was a political science major in college, so these themes, and particularly political philosophy, so these themes really interest me.
So fascinating.
Yeah,
but
right.
But presented in kids movie format.
And this came from Angel Studios, right?
They're distributed.
So
okay.
you can
because it's also confusing for me.
You can tell that this movie is being distributed by Angel Studios. I feel like a last resort, because I don't think you would have people like Seth Rogen, Laverne Cox, Iman Vellani signing up for a project if they knew it was an Angel Studios
I think
production.
that it was originally going to go to Netflix, and then something happened, so who knows the behind the scenes. But and also Angel Studios just went public not too long ago, so I wouldn't be surprised if they start expanding their mission a little bit.
Well, and they already have some huge movies coming out this year too.
Yeah, I think Young Washington is going to be a big hit. So
yeah,
yep.
All right. Well, this seems like it's a wait for it.
Also in.
I guess the final question: do you think they accomplished what they set out to do here? Is a kid going to be able to understand this, or did they not really hit that?
I mean,
right?
honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea what the mission statement of the movie is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you're expecting it to be propaganda for your side, then you'll probably be disappointed, both liberal and conservative.
Yeah.
But I guess so. I don't know what their intent was, but. I'm no Orwellian scholar, so I couldn't tell you, but
then what are we doing here, Rachel?
What are we doing? But there's 45 minutes left in the movie, and I was like, okay, so they've reached the end of the book, so
Yeah.
kind of curious to
Oh.
see how they
And they
resolve
add like
it.
an additional character as like your narrator.
It was kind of like
But-
the audience insert, right? Of like things have to be explained to a character. A character has to experience the things, and so
I guess I appreciated the swing. It's
Okay.
a flawed film, but
yeah, it's
Appreciate the swing.
Didn't
Yeah.
hate it.
I like that.
Wait for it.
Okay. Well, make sure that you wait for it. Let's move over to what's on streaming. And this was one that came out last week. Me and you had a chance to watch this. This is Apex.
Charlize
Theron. Why do we both do it like that? Taron Egerton.
Theron, the
Theron.
Rocket Man himself.
Yes, Kingsman. This what interesting. This is a story about a rock climbing couple. Something happens, and now she's on her own, gonna do her own trip. A bunch of Aussies come in and are like, "We're Aussies, and we're
Don't catch
we're a
alone.
bunch of hard to work with people. And we're gonna follow you." You know what I mean?
Well, so
Everyone Australian's gonna kick off of this.
we're big in Australia. So Charlize Theron experiences a traumatic rock climbing event, and so she has since moved on from it and is going. She's living that van life in Australia, in a national park in Australia. She's going doing some kind of kayaking
Thrill
trip.
seeking,
And she
but
meets
trauma seeking, grief seeking.
She's got to work through her trauma.
Does she have Australian accent?
No,
No.
she's
Because she's
American.
South African, right?
She is South African, but I think she's in this American and just
okay.
traveling.
Yeah.
My official takeaway from this movie is she didn't have to do any of that. She when they're in the very opening scene, because they're doing that thing where you camp on the side of the mountain. I was like, she doesn't have to be here. She could be at home watching TV instead of this.
Here's the thing. I love Charlize Theron movies
too.
because she always commits so much to what she's doing. Of
Yes.
course, there's probably a ton of that. It's like just a soundstage or something. But
Yeah.
I appreciate seeing that she is committing to these action-heavy type stuff, whether it be like I'm doing like extreme sports, like rock climbing or canoeing through rapids or things like that.
I would recommend. She did an interview on Seth Meyers last week. Very funny, but she talks about how she hates rock climbing. I'm like, girl, you didn't have to do this.
But the standout for this movie is absolutely Taron Egerton,
Oh,
who
every
plays
single movie he's in.
he plays a Robert De Niro Cape Fear type of crazy.
Yeah.
Even like Ready or Not a little bit.
A little bit. This movie leans a little bit more into horror than I was anticipating, and I didn't like it.
Really?
And I'm a big horror fan, but it's not what I was expecting from this movie. She could have been at home watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So that was my big takeaway from this movie.
See, I was sold on it because it did go into the horror side. I think Taron Egerton was very fun in what he was doing. It did kind of go from like we're gonna have like maybe there could be more depth to it to like just run away. For
Like,
most
what's
of the
his
movie.
motivation for everything that he's doing?
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get ya. Did really like the gratuitous Taron Egerton nudity.
Tasteful.
It was
Tasteful.
It was extremely tasteful. And I was just
Because when I
happy to
saw it,
see
I went,
I was like, oh,
You thought you meant-
yum.
oh my.
He'll commit too, just differently than.
Yeah.
All right. So was this a see it for you? Is a skip it?
I
think it's worth watching
It's
if you're
worth a
over the
watch.
weekend. If you want to turn on Apex, it
Wait
actually would be a
for
pretty
it.
fun one.
if you like having sweaty hands.
Yes, it's
for
it's
it.
anxiety filled,
Yeah.
but there's also good performances. I think it's tough not to look at these two stars and be like, I'll watch whatever you're doing. This is pretty
Exactly.
fun.
I love Taron Egerton. I will watch him do anything.
I haven't seen this one, so yeah.
We'll see it on Netflix.
Yeah,
It is on
there
Netflix.
you go.
Yep. Make sure you guys check that out. We also have what was the film that you were talking
So
about? just
Deep
barely?
Water.
Mhm.
This, if you like schlocky B movies, this
Yes.
is about a.
Where is Kent?
No.
Yeah, this is about this is a plane crash that crashes into shark-filled waters. It's
Where is Kent?
I texted him.
This thing screams. We really wanted this to be a big hit in China, all over the place.
Oh, man.
I texted Kent and I was like, "You're aware of Deep Water, right?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, of course."
It's too long. It's longer than it needs to be for this kind of B movie experience.
Is it
but
like 2 hours long?
yes, and
That's-
it's too long, but I was pretty entertained.
Really?
The airplane crash was really well done and very entertaining, and then the I mean, it's a ridiculous shark airplane movie. What do you want?
I've had it with these sharks on this
Yeah,
plane.
with these sharks. It's very over the top. It's very silly. What Ben Kingsley's doing in this movie, I have no idea.
I'm sorry, Ben Kingsley in a shark plane movie?
Ben Kingsley, I think, is just
How did I not know anything about this?
I think he's just taking paychecks because he's also in that Young Washington movie.
Yeah, and he was
yeah.
also in that Desert Warrior movie last week.
Which I've never heard a
yeah.
single thing about.
It cost $150 million to make. It was supposed to be the rebirth of the Saudi film industry. It's
I feel so
wild.
bad for Anthony
But
Mackie.
This is way more
He knows
fun
how
than
to pick
that. And if you like B movies, silly, over the top, creature scares movies, you'll have fun with this. It's
So compared to Thrash, because I feel like in Thrash we didn't really see a lot of sharks. We saw a lot of the idea of sharks. How
there's
many
a lot of
do we see?
sharks. There's scenes where the shark jumps up onto the raft, the emergency raft, and they're like, I mean,
Uses the canoe.
It's ridiculous, but pretty fun.
All right. Well, that's a see it.
Yeah, I would
And
say
it's like a must see for Kent in this case.
Is this streaming?
But if you're expecting like high art, then you'll be like,
No, I don't think anyone's
I'm
going
never
into that.
expecting high art from a shark movie.
But if you
Want the next Jaws, this
if you
won't be
want
it.
a schlocky, fun movie, Rennie Harlan directing, then you'll
If
have
you
a
like
good
looking
time
at
with it.
Aaron Eckhart,
There you go.
He has been on a B movie. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
The last 3-4 years.
yeah.
He's been, not doing it.
It's been rough.
It's I, Frankenstein.
Utah's
That's what
own.
did it.
I don't know what's happening.
Interesting.
Aaron Eckhart. But anyway,
What's
it's a
this
fun
on? Is
time.
it streaming? Where's it at?
It's in theaters, I believe.
Oh, in theaters.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, we missed that one for the first part.
Yeah.
Well, with that
Streaming
being
soon.
said, we've got one.
Streaming very soon.
Yep. We've got one more. But before we jump into the movie itself, let's take a look at the interview that I had with the swapped actor, Cedric the Entertainer, about his role and a little bit about which animal would he turn in or would he never want to turn into if he could. Take a look. I'm here with Cedric the Entertainer. How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. How are you, brother?
Oh, I'm doing really well. It's so nice to hear your voice, and you were great in this. You've obviously been no stranger to doing voice work with these iconic films. What do you think, in your opinion, with the time that you've spent doing this, makes a voice performance click with audiences? And what are you thinking when you're in the booth? Are you more vocal? Are you using your body moving around more?
I mainly use my voice, and I mainly, what I really try to do is identify that character, look at that photograph when they usually put your character up in front of you when you're recording. So you look over and you see them. And then from there, you start to develop the voice. And from the voice, you develop the attitude. And then it's all about the writing from there. Once I kind of know how the character speaks and what his attitude, then I'm like, all right, cool. Put me in a situation where he would say this. And then, this is how I almost always participate in the movies that I do. Because once I make that character up, I can just do them at a drop of a hat.
That's interesting that they've got a picture up, because that was kind of leading into my next question. Because obviously you're doing the performance, and maybe 2-3 years down the road is when you finally see the end product with everything. Is it harder to land a joke or get timing right when you're trusting the animating team and the editing team to bring that all together later?
Yeah. I mean, it's always a little difficult. Of course, you would love to have some degree of kind of audience that's not a part of the business, that's not there. But you do know that if you make those people laugh, you really have a good laugh. People who kind of do it from day to day, they kind of see it in and out. Their job is to do a job, right? They're not really looking at the show like that. They're there to light. I'm going to be lighting directing. I'm not really paying attention to you like that, except are you in the light? You're right. So, but if you make them laugh, then you realize you got a real laugh. And so that's some of the things that I try to always work on as a comedian, is look for the real laughter and know that I don't have to be up telling jokes every minute just to get laughter.
That's fascinating. So you're kind of playing to whoever's in the room that you're doing this.
Yeah, you recognize that, when you're recording for an animated movie, the director is there and he's kind of telling you what the other actors have done and what he kind of expects from a thing. He'll give you an idea of man, be a little hotter at him, because he wasn't paying attention to you. You can to be hot. You'd be like, oh, okay. So then you change you change even hotter. You're like, oh, okay. And so, so those things is what you trust about the space of, for me, been doing it so many years. this is what I enjoy, that idea of like being in a room and creating a character out of nothing and then letting it come to life.
And on the surface, your character kind of comes off as the old guard. This is the way we've always done things, and maybe it just doesn't get it. But for kids that are watching this, what do you hope that kids can see underneath that with your performance, your character?
I think it is the kind of humanity of and the anxiety that you have when your kids are trying to grow and go forth and do great things. And I think this will help both the parents kind of see what their POV is, and maybe hopefully the kids can see why their parents are so kind of like anxious about them, following protocols and doing things by the rules and making sure I understand where you are at all times, because the ability to, yes, I want you to be free and be creative, but you also need to be somewhere where I can put my hands on you and I can touch you and I can talk to you. And so all those things I believe is going to lead for great conversations for parents, because it's you experience all those things watching this movie.
This movie is all about, seeing the other perspective. And I'm sure you've been asked a million times, which animal would you switch into if you could? But I think a better question that I have is, what animal would you never want to switch into? Like a worst case scenario, what animal would you never want to be swapped with?
I don't think I would ever really want to be a hippopotamus. I don't know. I don't want to be in the mud like that. I think I'd prefer having all my teeth. I don't know if they make Ozempic for them. It's just little things like. No, but
the teeth part I didn't even think about.
They always got missing teeth. Hippopotamus, yeah.
Welcome back. Make sure that you guys check out this movie. I had fun with it. It's very much the premise of not knowing the other, the outsider. We always have seen that.
Walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. In this case, try being the other species for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this was more serious than I was expecting. I thought from the marketing and everything, this was like a comedy. And Nathan Greeno, the director, I love so much because I love Tangled so much.
Oh, did Tangled?
Yes, he was the director of Tangled. And so I guess I was just expecting it to be lighter. It's more kind of like a new Ferngully. Is that what I would compare
I could see
it to?
that. The animation is great.
The animation is beautiful. It was just different than I was expecting, but not.
This came from Skydance too, I realized.
Oh, interesting.
And so this might be one of those projects that got offloaded from Skydance. Now that they've completely retired their LA offices and have moved to New York, there's a lot to say about all of that behind the scenes stuff. But I don't know.
I would say it was overall, it was a little boring, but it was overall pretty
Michael
good.
B. Jordan stars.
Juno Temple. It was definitely as I was watching it, just we're not reinventing the wheel with this one. This is one of them straightforward kids learn some empathy movies.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what? I think the more of those, the better. Maybe it didn't challenge them as much as it could have, but maybe it's for a younger kid demographic than what we're thinking.
And I feel like the biggest draw for this movie that they're not even really capitalizing on that much is, look, we got Michael B. Jordan to do a voice. Look, we got Juno Temple to do a voice. These are some pretty big names, but that really feels like that's all for this movie.
Right. And then you have to think that they started doing all this stuff 3-4 years ago, because it takes so long to make these animated films. I do wonder if Netflix was actually where this was going to end up going, or if this was something.
I think it was probably originally going to Apple.
Apple? I was thinking maybe Warner Brothers.
They had the deal with Skydance. Apple did for a while.
Yep. And JJ made that huge deal with Warner Brothers, the exclusive Skydance deal.
Inside baseball.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff there. But I do think it's worth checking out. Thank you to Cedric the Entertainer, Adam Scott, everybody for letting us talk to them. And I think that about does it for this episode. So I want to thank these two for coming on. Rachel, where can the people find you?
So you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over the place and Hallmarkies Podcast.
Thanks for coming on. We're going to have you more. Rebecca, tell the people where they can find you.
Geek Show Podcast. And if you like Star Trek, TV show in space.
We're starting up the, what was it?
Oh, yeah.
Read it before you screen it, something like that. We called it something.
We have a book club, and if you like books, we didn't really get to tackle Project Hail Mary.
No.
But what a bummer. But upcoming, Remarkably Bright Creatures on Netflix. I cannot remember the author's name off the top of my head, but the book so sweet, so wholesome. There's a bit of a mystery at the heart of the book, and one of the main characters is an octopus who tells his part of the story from the perspective of a tank in an aquarium. And as everybody kind of moves closer to unveiling the mystery, I felt like Bob Odenkirk in Little Women. Like when he comes in and he's like, "Oh, my little women," I was like, "Oh, my remarkably bright creatures." But very wholesome. Alfred Molina's the octopus in this. Very funny if you consider Spider-Man.
Wait, when does this come out?
This comes out May 8th on Netflix.
Okay, so
Oh,
a little bit of time, but we can get there.
It's if you listen to audiobooks, it's so quick.
Okay.
And it's so good, it's so wholesome. You'll cry. I cried, but I cried everything. So.
Name of the book again?
Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Make sure that you check that out. Thank you, everybody, as always, for watching. Here's a sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about next week, and we'll see you at the next review.
bye, everyone.